What's this? A keyblade.
Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance with a recording that'll hopefully be of much more clarity than the previous part. Primarily because I was drinking a bit too heavily last night, and, well, as is often of wont to do, drinking kills brain cells. It also greases engines if you're that desperate for lubricant, but it's neither here nor there in this case. In the meantime, we're going to be showing off a bit of Counter Rush, and, well, I guess sort of dissecting these plot points in order since, well, yeah, Tron. He has become Le Rinsler. But, indeedy, Sora still believes it can be saved if he just convinces Tron to feel like a human. And, I guess while we're on that subject, as we slowly move, this thing, Gwenger, to explode, yeah, Sora and Tron's bond. I actually really liked it a lot in Kingdom Hearts 2, if you remember, and, I don't know, like, I mean, something that I was also mentioning last part where Riku tends to have a bit more of the meat in terms of storylines, you know, primarily in that he has a lot more to, you know, sort of grow to learn from and struggle with. I don't know, at the same time, I feel like this world does also give a lot for Sora to do, because, well, Riku's storyline will be focusing on, you know, the stuff with, Flynn, Sam, and, Korra. You know, Sora, meanwhile, has this whole friendship with Tron, and, you know, Sora, being the beloved little boy that he is, seeing the best in everybody, well, yeah. You know, he's having the more emotional angle this time around, and given his past friendship with Tron, you know, there is history there, and it actually does make this world feel quite alive in terms of plot, so... yeah, it's all for these plot reasons on top of the aesthetic value that I actually really happen to enjoy this level with. Fighting in this area is pretty much just pointless, it's really just more of a means of showcasing some new abilities that we have. But in the meantime, though, as we continue to fight with combat... yeah, I don't really know too much about the Tron Legacy storyline. I mean, then again, I didn't even know much about the original Tron storyline, but I'm gonna fathom a guess that it does at least cover a majority of the major plot beats in terms of, you know, them being an old Flynn and then there's a young Flynn. Like, gasp, there is plot shenanigans at work. And I guess is also there to give dual-layered meaning towards, you know, memories machines can feel, can they? Or do androids dream of electric sheep? Do electric sheep dream of physical androids? Well, I don't know for certain, but all I know is that androids, everybody needs good androids. Androids have feelings too. And that's a reference nobody will get. Well, they might potentially get the theme song, but it's neither here nor there in this case. Anyway, combat is now over with, so let's catch the bus. By which I mean fiddle with our menus. Odd euphemism, but whatever. Just take a few drop-me-nots. Oh, delicious. Now we won't go to sleep in the virtual world. Oh, well, then again, I guess physical beings... how does that... actually, hang on. How exactly does that account for that? In a virtual world? I don't know, I guess perhaps Matrix logic might apply to some extent? Is that really air you're breathing in a digital space? Curious. Then again, who knows what artificial parameters have been set in the grid. I mean, at least I'm assuming that there's meant to be, like, some degree of livable parameters, given the whole users, handlers, and, you know, stuff like that meant to be going around. By the way, this is Stank Pussy's, ultimate attack. Water Blaster. It's basically shooting a fucking fire hose, and it's about as difficult to control as one, because with all that pressure... yeah, the control stick is a little bit loosey-goosey. I imagine in the 3DS version you probably controlled it via touchscreen, but... yeah, it's not exactly easy to control at the best of times. But anyway, it is still quite a useful ability. We'll be getting great use out of Stank Pussy's moveset by the time we get over to, you know, one of our boss fights, because, yeah, I'd imagine we'll be having more of a confrontation with Rinsler as we track him down and retrieve his source code. I do have to wonder though, like, did Bruce Boxleitner reprise his role as a Tron in Tron Legacy? I'm not really too sure. At least in that case, because I mean, it would have been, I guess, well, spoiler alert, we're not going to be seeing the original Tron restored to his former glory, but, Yeah, I just wonder if maybe, like, Bruce Boxleitner might have been available for the movie, but not for Dream Drop Distance, or, I don't know, they probably just didn't think about it, or it didn't adhere to the movie. Oh, shucky darns, we can't use flow motion to ascend to a higher plane. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been cool to have a bit of a reunion between Sora and Tron, even though technically we did sort of have it via Rinsler. Whatever. Confusing, confuzzling mess of identities and memories. Oh well, not too far out of Kingdom Hearts' wheelhouse, I suppose, but in any case, to further comment on the art design, yeah, very Star Wars prequel looking over here, reminds me of the Camino facilities. But in the meantime, though, as we enter the Solar Sailor full of cargo, well, I mean, I suppose it could be like a, you know, very abstract metaphor for transporting data between different terminals. Whatever, computers. Computery computers. As we said before, it's all about those computer games. Take this, take that. Finally, we've moved on to regular Blitz, not Quick Blitz. Ah, we're upgrading. Growing stronger in the Force, by which I mean the Keyblade. Anyway, this is, next and final function of this whole reality shift command. You can either command it to auto-destruct. Oh, nothing happens. I thought you took damage if it failed. Never mind. Yeah, auto-destruct. For some other cannons you can actually take control of it. The only reason why you need this to self-destruct is because it destroys walls that we need to progress. By the way, if I can comment on the art design, like, I mean, especially on limited hardware and, you know, I suppose like a lot of older consoles, yeah, a nice way of creating the illusion of movement. You know, having some wind particle effects over there. And of course, you know, some speed lines to indicate motion, when in fact we're not moving anywhere. Again, it's it's very much like those old sort of staging tricks that, you know, they used to use like in a lot of old-fashioned movies, like rear projection, stuff like that. I don't know, just kind of goes to show how our entertainment has developed a lot of tricks over the centuries, which I suppose we can't say that now, technically, because it's been over a century since film was a thing. And, creating a lot of interesting props. And I mean, that's technically what it is. I mean, video games are technically interactive stage plays, more or less. Man, entertainment has had a very weird course. But that's just my brain sort of going off on random tangents and not really relevant to our current situation. Yeah, there are a lot of places you can explore in terms of, you know, finding treasure chests, getting abilities, and we will be exploring them as much as we can. You do also get Prize Shop, which is basically where the turrets will actually start dispensing, money and, dream points. Otherwise known as DP. Tee-hee, hodl hard, double penetration, or dick points. Everything sexual in dreams, said Sigmund Freud. Analyze this. Die Another Day, whatever, terrible James Bond movie. Well, could have been worse, I guess. Could have been Moonraker, even though that one's kind of entertainingly terrible. Whee! Drill Dive! Still making use out of those flow motion abilities. Running Executable. Initiating firewalls. Hacking subnets. Gatling guns online. Auto-destruct sequence activated. Kerblamo! And yeah, that's the other part of the reality shift, so... I mentioned it beforehand, but I'll say it again, like, I mean, it does make great use out of all your abilities in this level, and, you know, again, like, a Code Break might not be the most expedient reality shift you'll ever use, or the most flashy and destructive looking, but, again, the game gets so much use out of its, you know, very layered and, you know, versatile abilities that, I don't know, it just sort of, it ties itself together in the level design really succinctly, and, you know, that's something I can wear like a shallow grave, or something I can dig like a shallow grave, I should say. My metaphors are becoming mixed. All work and no play makes Jill a dull girl. Squadala, we're off. To see the wizard. I think I might have mentioned this beforehand, but does Disney own the Wizard of Oz? Or is that technically in the public domain? I don't know, whatever. In any case, so if you want to progress and just, you know, get straight onto the real business, pretty much head towards the upper parts of the Solar Sailor. We'll arrive at our destination and, you know, then we can finally move on and find Tron's source code. And hopefully I won't have to come up with just random tangents. Prize shot! Oh no. I'm shooting money at Sora. Blue, blue, blue. Here, Sora, take all the money. Fuck, I'm running out of things to say. Think. Well, I will say in terms of human character models, which well, the only one of which Sora really has to compare us with, well, Korra, so, character models look fairly nice and realistic, and, yeah, like, I mean, you know, considering that this was also on the 3DS, and, a console, it was a handheld that was only really capable of handling, like, close-ish, I'd say Metal Gear Solid 3's, Snake Eater 3DS port, levels of realism, I don't know, the fact that they were able to get, like, Silent Hill 4 quality models on Dream Drop Distance is honestly a testament to the art designers first and foremost, but, you know, it also manages to be quite good looking for, you know, the hardware, so, you know, good on Square Enix. And, speaking of good looking, man, Korra, she is hot! But then again, that's maybe just because the actress is a very attractive lass. I don't know. Call me lusty if you will, but, I don't know, man. It certainly gets, you know, my... It turns my software into hardware. Okay, enough crass humor, because that's running it into the ground, and, isn't acceptable in this day and age. I should be naught but a gentleman. Yes, indeed, rather. But in any case, so, like, the main point that I wanted to make is that, you know, character models are really on point, they look great, and, yeah, all really good stuff. I guess I could... God, you know I'm really getting fucking... you know I have nothing interesting to say when I'm talking about fucking color use, but... Yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, they say, like, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that you can't make grey environments lively, but, you know... a grey dominating color scheme, you know, some nice bright neon lights... I don't know, it kind of goes from the Sega playbook of coloration, actually, where they have, like, one dominating color and then, you know, just have a few neon lights to sort of... give the environment a little bit more of a lively look. I believe... I'm trying to remember who coined the term, but I think it was what they dubbed Yu Suzuki rules, where Shenmue would often have, like, very... sort of gritty and, you know, darker aesthetics, and then have, like, a dominating neon colorization to sort of offset the balance. Usually in the case of Shenmue, it would be, like, you know, a bright blue sky, or, like, a, you know, a very orange-looking sunset. I don't know, that kind of thing. It just goes to show that, you know, even though some people might find the color scheme a little bit dull compared to Space Paranoids that had more calming blue tones, I don't know, it manages to look quite lively, but also maintain that sense of grittiness, and aiding that is also the music. I'm trying to remember, actually, it might have either been the original Tron or it might have been a Tron Legacy, but didn't they have Daft Punk work on this? I mean, not for Kingdom Hearts, obviously, since, oh no, now we are in the zero gravity. That's what we get for listening to Daft Punk, but... Yeah, I think Tron Legacy itself might have had either a song or at least a soundscape based upon their work. I don't know. Either way, it's used to great effect and creates some really great battle themes and some really great ambience as we travel across the Cyberverse. Batman transition. Nope, nothing new to explore there. Oh... Panicking and double-checking of mine. How thou art loathsome. Come on, check every nook and cranny for those delicious treasure chests, and even though we could easily jump over there, we can't, because it's hidden by doors and separated loading screens. Shocky darns. And if you're wondering, Kingdom Hearts 3 actually does away with that sort of segmented transition for the most part, so... yeah. Much wider open environments that Dream Drop Distance tested that 3 later improved upon. Ooh, an ice cream cone. I know this ice cream cone doesn't exist, but the grid is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious. Ignorance is bliss. Well, then again, you know, electrical pulses and signals, so... I mean, I was kind of bringing it up beforehand, like in a virtual world such as the grid, I mean... Is it designed to be a simulated environment? I don't know. I'm guessing that, you know, the whole idea of, you know, users entering this world is that it's meant to de-res and sort of upload them into the digital sphere, so... It's quite odd as to why, you know, the physical laws of our world would apply to this place, really. I mean, I'm talking about specific things such as, you know, hunger, pleasure, pain responses, that kind of thing. I don't know, it's, I mean, I suppose it is possible to program via parameters if they are there to be programmed, but I don't know, is this done purely as a means of sort of, you know, placating us towards our human instincts, and, you know, if we don't feel such things, we'd see something going wrong and have a bit of an existential panic and, you know, anxiety attack or something? I don't know, it's very curious to think about, and I mean, in an environment that's meant to be purely digital information, if we were to trawl through it with our physical selves, I don't know, I mean, it's a lot to think about, and, I mean, given the advent of artificial intelligence, it's probably gonna come sooner rather than later if, you know, that sort of technology is to be believed. I mean, at this stage we have, you know, had fairly convincing videos and, well, I mean, apart from, you know, carrying a chair whose table legs are warped beyond recognition, but, you know, we are getting pretty damn close to that level where we just can't tell what's real and what's not anymore, so, yeah, at this stage, well, we're all gonna live in the Matrix. Rinsler, Restart, Port, Transport. Well, that was my existential tangent for one day. There we go. We do end up fighting some of the more powerful Dream Eaters in this level, particularly those little Pegasus horses with the flying wings. I could have put that so much more elegant. You know, the Dream Eaters with the pelicans and the horses and the lady with the Claven. But yeah, that can be quite strenuous. But anyway, we've made it to the elevator, so activate cutscene.
You sure we'll find Tron's source code here?
It's not here. Maybe Clue has it with him. Sora, let's look elsewhere.
All right. Huh? Oh. Wait, Cora! Let me talk to Rinsler. A little heart-to-heart might jog his memory.
He's a program, Sora. Programs don't have hearts.
That's not true. The Tron I remember, he had something. Hey! You used to be called Tron, right? Clue did something to you to mess with your memory. You're a little confused, but that's okay. Come on, remember, Tron?
I don't think Rinsler is quite the friend you remember.
He just needs time, that's all. Cora! Tron, don't! Tron, why?
That's what we do. Put the most precious memories in the back of our minds where they're safe. Or in your case, the most precious hearts?
Not you again!
The memory and heart are tightly linked.
Samnus!
Rub a few memories together, and you get a spark of emotion, a feeling. But in a digital world, memory does not work like that. Nothing is ever felt. You can hold 1,000, 1,000,000 times the information, but there is still no heart with which to parse it. Once, my master Ansem found an old system and made a copy of its master control program, and used it to serve his own ends. This is the original data of that system. Here, data can be copied. Memory can be changed and easily manipulated. Tron is a digital entity, so why would he be any different? He obeys the rules of this world. Sora, what about you?
Me?
Your heart, memories, your data, and your dreams. The bits and bytes that have made up your life so far. Can you say for sure they are not just copies of someone else's?
Yes! My memories and feelings belong to me!
You had better check. Make certain the box's contents match what's on the label. Since you have been chosen.
Chosen for what?
You think this is the realm of dreams, but there you are mistaken. Data does not dream, cannot dream. This world is real. You haven't the slightest idea where you are, that you have already wandered off the path.
What do you mean? What in the world?
Combatant 13 versus Rinsler.
Greetings, Sora. I've been waiting.
Who are you?
I am Clue.
So it was you. You're the guy who turned Tron into Rinsler.
Correct. I had to repurpose his code.
Well, unrepurpose it.
Yes. Under the right parameters, I might.
Huh?
You have a little item called a Keyblade. It can open any lock, isn't that right? Hand it over, and I'll change Rinsler back into Tron.
The Keyblade? I can't. This is what lights the darkness. A chance to make everyone happy.
Ha! Flawed reasoning. I'll have to take it by force.
Tron, why can't I get through to you?
Fight, Sora!
Cora, you're okay! I can't believe it!
Yes, I think Tron heard you. Long enough for me to escape. You can do it! You can get through to him! Sora! You have to fight him!
But, Cora, how can I...
You have that key! It will bring him to his senses.
I'll try! Let's go, Tron!
Yeah, we're gonna restore Tron by beating the fuck out of him. If he doesn't remember who he is, he'll at least forget being Rinsler. It's Sora's logic throughout the whole thing, but yeah, anyway, quite a fun boss fight against Rinsler, and one that's actually very emotionally charged with, you know, Sora wanting his friend back. I am also trying to extend the boss fight so we can at least show off some of the dynamics of the boss fight itself. I mean, again, Rinsler is a pretty powerful foe, very quick on his feet, and you know, he does give you a lot of pip damage, and unfortunately, no, we'll spray water on you. It isn't really going to do much, although it does cleave off a fair bit of his health, so maybe I shouldn't open my tongue so soon. But to kind of talk about something else in the time that we still have it, as the arena gets topsy-turvy. Well yeah, very interesting thing that Xemnas and indeed Mr. Blankety Blank brought up. Yes indeed. They saw not being in the dream world. Well, he's wearing his dream clothes. Seems that Sora's been diverted off course, so yeah. It gives further, you know, communications as to who's running the show here. And why Sora feels like he's being led around like a lamb to a kebab shop. Yes, indeed. But we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out. In the meantime, however, yeah, making great use out of Counter Rush and Fire Windmill. I wanted to make sure this boss fight was at least, you know, decently lengthy, so I could, you know, show off the epic clash between Sora and Tron. I don't know. I do feel like it would have been cool to have at least seen Bruce Boxleitner maybe reprise his role. I mean, if only just to have him and Sora interact one last time, because, well, let's just say, we ain't gonna be seeing him no mores. Oh no, we can't hold back. And now Tron, could he be saved? I don't know. Either way, great music for the fight, by the way. It's, really enjoyable, really intense. But anyway, it's time to restore Tron to factory settings.
Tron!
I'll deal with you later. I have to retrieve Rinzler.
He reached for my hand. Tron is still in there.
You and that key have a special power.
So do you. Power to make me see it.
So, does that mean we're friends?
Of course. What if my memories aren't my own? No, I gotta be like Tron. Maybe we're walking the wrong path, but our hearts will lead us back to the truth.
Good on you, Sora. You know, despite being an idiot and being tricked every time, well, he's still got a positive attitude about it. Something I think all of us can learn from, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the end of Sora's pathway in the grid, so in the meantime, however, well, onwards to, different places. By the way, you'd also get gradual cups that would also advance in Flick Rush, but again, I've already shut it off, so not really too much to say there. But, yeah, I mean, if you do want to go back to Flick Rush and, you know, unlock some more prizes for your Dream Eaters, well, have at it, dude. In the meantime, let's just check the forecast, and, everything seems to be okay there. Magic up. Money up. I think that's about enough for one day. I think it's about time we went to bed. Yeah, not too many dream points we can trade, but, yeah, well, not really too much to suit with there. Yeah, I do apologise if I didn't exactly bring my A game to the grid. Quite disappointed in myself, but you know what? Let it be said that I do enjoy the levels, and, you know, I think they're actually quite fun, so on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, it's Riku's turn. Good night.